As a marriage and family therapist, every single week I watch a pattern of communication play out that costs relationships an enormous amount of emotional currency. And until you understand this one, I mean really understand it, then you're going to keep having the same fights in the same patterns with the same people for the rest of your life. But not after watching this video to the end, because I am going to give you the framework that explains why so much of our communication goes sideways and what to begin doing about it. Here's the truth most people will spend a lifetime never fully understanding, and that is you are not actually responding to what the people in your life are saying. You are responding to what your nervous system decided their words meant through the filter of your history, your beliefs, your worldview, your experiences, your attachment, and whatever state of regulation or dysregulation you happen to be in at the time they spoke. And here's the part that is most important. They are doing the exact same thing. So what looks on the surface like a conversation, like two people exchanging words, is actually something far more complicated. It is two nervous systems trying to make sense of each other through completely different operating systems. And if you have ever walked away from an argument confused about what just happened, then this video is for you. Come on inside and let's explore this topic together. We grew up believing that communication is the exchange of words. You say something, I hear something, we understand each other, but that is not what communication actually is. Communication is the exchange of meaning, and meaning is not transferred in the words. It is constructed by the speaker and by the listener, and those are independent, of course, of each other. So when someone says, I'm fine, there are at least a dozen possible meanings depending on the tone, the relationship, the history, the body language, the context, and the state of the person who's hearing it. So I'm fine can mean I'm actually fine. It can mean I'm hurt and I want you to ask me again. It can mean please leave me alone. It can mean I'm furious and I'm about to explode. It can mean that I have given up trying to explain this to you. The two words are the same. The meaning is completely different. And here's the critical part. The meaning is not in the words. The meaning is in the interpretation, which means that every single conversation you have ever had with anyone is actually a translation event. You speak, the other person translates, they speak, you translate, and most of the time, neither of you is checking with the other about the translation to see if it matches what you actually intended. The question becomes, what determines how you translate? What makes you decide that I'm fine, they're hurt, or they're angry, or they don't care anymore? And the answer is you, the whole of you, your beliefs, your worldview, your earliest experiences with the people who shaped how you understand love, conflict, safety, connection, your culture, your trauma history, your attachment style, the conversation you had 10 minutes ago, the fight you had last week, the fight that you watch your parents have when you were 6 years old. Every single one of those is sitting in the room with you whenever you speak to someone. And without you realizing it, they're doing the translating for you. So when your partner says something that lands in your body as criticism, the question is not just did they criticize me? The question is, what in my history is telling me that this is what criticism sounds like? When your friend takes 3 days to respond to your text and you feel abandoned, The question is not just, did they abandon me? The question is, what in my history is telling me that this delay must mean rejection? When your boss looks at you in a meeting and your stomach drops, the question is not just, was that look bad? The question is, what in my history is making me read that look as bad? And this is not to say that you're always wrong. You may be reading the situation accurately, but you may also be reading the situation through a lens so thick that you can't see what is actually in front of you. And that lens, that meaning making system, was built through long before you had any conscious say in it. Here's the next layer that we have to understand. It is not just words that we are translating. It is everything. In communication theory, there's a foundational principle, and it is that one cannot not communicate. And that means every behavior you observe in another person and every behavior they observe in you is information. The silence, the sigh, the eye roll, the fast text reply, the slow text reply, the not texting back at all, the posture, the way they walked past you in the hallway, the way they didn't look up when you came into the room. All of it is information, and your nervous system is processing all of it, usually below your conscious awareness, and assigning meaning at lightning speed. The challenge is that the meaning your nervous system assigns is not always accurate. So sometimes the sigh you read as frustration was actually exhaustion. Sometimes the silence you read as anger was actually overwhelm. Sometimes the fast reply you read as dismissive was actually concern. Sometimes the not looking up you read as disrespect was actually preoccupation with something completely unrelated to you. But your nervous system doesn't always know that. Your nervous system does what it was trained to do, and that is to read the cues, assign the meaning, and prepare you to respond. And the faster and more confident the meaning making, the more likely your history is doing the work, not your present moment awareness. This is where it gets crucial. The state your nervous system is in when you receive information determines how that information is interpreted. When you are regulated, when you feel safe, grounded, connected, and resourced, you can take in what someone is actually saying. You can hear their tone for what it is. You can give them the benefit of the doubt. You can ask clarifying questions. You can wait before reacting. But when you are dysregulated, when you are stressed, tired, hungry, threatened, activated by something earlier in your day, or carrying unresolved emotion from an old wound, your interpretation system collapses. You stop hearing what they said. You start hearing what your history is telling you they must have meant. And then, and this is the part that creates so much pain in relationships, you respond to the imagined meaning, not the actual content. This is why arguments escalate so fast. It is not because the original content was that severe. It is because two dysregulated nervous systems are now responding to two distorted interpretations, neither of which matches what either person actually meant. So you end up in a fight that has nothing to do with the conversation either of you thought you were having. You're not fighting about the dishes. You are not fighting about the missed call. You are not fighting about the comment at dinner. You're fighting about what your nervous system decided those things meant. And the other person is fighting about what their nervous system decided your response meant. And nobody is actually in the room with each other anymore. Let me walk you through how this loop actually unfolds. You send a message, a comment, a look, a tone, a behavior. I receive it through my filter, my history, my beliefs, my nervous system state. I assign meaning based on what my filter tells me you must have meant, and I respond to the meaning, not the original message. You then receive my response through your filter. You assign meaning to my response through your lens in your nervous system state. You respond to the meaning you assign. We're now two people having two completely different conversations. We are both convinced that we are responding to what the other person actually said. Neither of us is. We are both responding to the story our nervous system constructed about what the other person said. And the longer the conversation goes without one of us pausing to check, wait, what did you actually mean by that? Then the further apart the two parallel conversations drift. This is how good people who love each other end up in fights that neither of them really understand afterwards. It is not malicious. It's not personal. It is two human beings doing what human beings do, making meaning through their own history without the awareness that meaning making is even happening. I want to give you 4 invitations. These are just 4 things to begin noticing this week, because awareness, as you've heard me say before, is where every change begins. The first invitation is to notice your own filter. When you find yourself reacting strongly to something that someone said or did, pause and ask, what story am I telling myself about this right now? Not what did they do. You're going to ask, what story am I telling myself? Because the story is not the event. The story is your interpretation of the event. And the gap between the two is where most relational pain lives. The second invitation is to check the meaning before you respond. This particular practice will change every relationship in your life if you allow it. When you feel a strong reaction rising, before you respond, you're going to ask, what I heard you say is, am I hearing that correctly? Or you can ask, I want to make sure that I'm not adding meaning that you did not intend. Are you saying? And then you can fill in the blank. Pausing to check the meaning is one of the most powerful communication tools that I know, because most of the time, the meaning that you assigned was not the meaning the other person intended. So checking instead of assuming prevents many of the fights that ruin relationships. The third invitation is to notice your nervous system state before responding. If you are dysregulated, you're not reading the room accurately. Your filter is too thick. So before you fire off the reply or send the text or escalate the conversation, you're going to pause and ask yourself, am I regulated enough to respond accurately right now? Or am I responding to my history? And if the answer is the second, then you're going to wait. You're going to wait until you can hear what is actually being said, not what your dysregulation is telling you they must have meant. And then the fourth invitation is, when you misread someone, repair fast. You're going to misread people. You're going to assign meaning that was not intended. You're going to respond to a story that you constructed. And that's because you are human. The question is not whether you do it. The question is, what do you do after? So when you realize you misread, you can say something like, I think I added meaning to what you said that you didn't intend. Can we start over? because repair done quickly and honestly builds more trust in a relationship than never making a mistake in the first place. What matters is whether you can return to the room with the other person, humble, honest, and willing to see them accurately. I want to leave you with this today. Most of the miscommunication in your life is not malicious. It is not because people are trying to hurt you. It is not because you are trying to hurt others. It is because two nervous systems, each carrying decades of meaning-making history, are doing their best to translate each other across very different operating systems. Some of those translations will be accurate. Many of them will not be. And the work is not to communicate perfectly. The work is to notice that meaning making is always happening, yours and theirs, and to be willing to pause, check, repair, and stay curious. The most loving thing that you can do for the people in your life is not to assume that you know what they meant. It is to ask, to be curious. And the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to recognize that your reactions are not always responses to reality. Sometimes they are responses to the story your history is telling you about reality. And when you can begin to tell the difference, everything changes. If our conversation today gave you something to think about, then I invite you to sit with it. To notice your own filter this week, to notice when you are assigning meaning that may not be accurate, to also notice when your nervous system is hijacking your interpretation. You'll be amazed as to what you discover when you begin to notice. Before you go, I want to ask you something. Where in your life are you having a conversation that may actually be two completely different conversations? Is it a conversation that you're having with a parent or a child? Or maybe it's with your partner or a friend or a colleague. You don't have to share it publicly, but I do invite you to notice. And if you're willing to leave one word in the comments telling me which relationship that you're going to pay more attention to this week. So the word could be partner, parent, child, friend, colleague. Whatever it is, I'd love to hear from you. And before I go, hey, thank you again for coming along with me on this journey and for staying a while as we explore possibilities for the heart and mind.